Things worth not ignoring. Video 1. This is for friendship, for partnership, for marriage. This for everyone. And before we talk about what to look for, we need to talk about what we should stop trying to explain away. Not to excuse anyone, not to dig up the past, but to protect what's sacred. Broken people are often very good at adapting. We learn how to adjust, how to accommodate, how to tell ourselves, oh, it's probably just nothing. This page is about noticing. Before your spirit gets tired from carrying what it was never meant to hold. Question number 1. Do you keep adjusting yourself to make it work? There's a difference between compromise and disappearance. Healthy relationships, they require flexibility. But when you are the only one who bends, well, when your needs keep getting smaller, when the peace only comes from the place where you need to stay quiet, that's not alignment. Pay attention to how often you explain away discomfort. Pay attention to how often you tell yourself, I'll deal with it later. It's not a big thing. If connection requires you to erase parts of yourself, then it is not connection. It's survival. Number 2. Do you feel more anxious or more anchored around them? Your body notices before your mind does. Sometimes anxiety doesn't come with a clear reason. It shows up as tension, as rehearsed conversations over and over again, especially at 3 a.m. Yes. As relief when someone leaves the room. Love doesn't keep you on the edge. It doesn't require constant vigilance. Healthy connection settles your nervous system. It allows you to breathe. If you feel calmer away from someone than you do with them, that's information, not judgment. That's discernment. Question number 3. Are the words kind, but the actions inconsistent? Charm can sound a lot like care, but consistency is what builds trust. Watch for patterns, not promises. Apologies that don't become change. Effort that only shows up when the consequences appear. Yes, affection without follow-through costs something over time. Usually clarity and eventually your peace. You're not asking for too much by wanting words and actions to match. That's not high standards. That's basic safety. Question number 4. Is laughter used to avoid and not connect? Well, laughter can heal, and it can also deflect. Notice jokes that minimize your concerns, Playfulness that replaces depth when deep conversation is needed. Humor that dodges responsibility. Oh, joy brings relief. But avoidance, that just leaves things unsolved. You're allowed to want laughter and honesty. You don't have to choose between the two. Question number 5. Are the small things being neglected? Oh, this is so important. Neglect, well, it's rarely dramatic. It's quiet, repetitive, normalized, happens over time. Being late without apology, forgetting things that matter to you, well, effort fading once you're secured. Let's just call it that. Yeah. You have to notice right from the start and ask the questions from the beginning. That way neither of you hopefully get hurt. Because what's ignored early, it becomes heavy later. Things that are easy to walk away from now seems impossible later. Nothing's impossible with God. Well, some things are just not as small as the world makes them out to be. They're the structure that everything else rests on. That brings us to question number 6. Is faith absent or treated as inconvenient? You don't need identical expressions, no, but you do need a shared reverence. Pay attention to dismissiveness towards God, values that bend when things get uncomfortable, a moral compass that's guided only by convenience. A life without a higher anchor will eventually drift, and it rarely drifts alone. Now, faith doesn't have to be loud to be present, but it does have to matter to the both of you. One last porch whisper. You don't notice these things to accuse. You notice them to protect what's sacred, yourself, your family, your future, and them as well. Yes. You need to pay attention to what costs you clarity and pay attention to what erodes your peace over time. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to take a step back. And you're allowed to choose wisely, even quietly. Yes, seeing isn't judgment. It's stewardship. Sit a minute with that. And remember to breathe life in and out.